Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Well, it seems like, I don't think it's that it seems like, I think I'm 99% convinced as of now that the Russians, the Chinese, and it seems like the Indians are closing the ranks of a little coalition here. They play ball on the other side. They participate in the peace process, on their own terms. But by their actions, they seem to have left the building of the plantation I'm talking. So what happened? I have two articles here. One about the Indians and the other one about the Chinese. Indian government, Chinese government. And Russia being the common denominator here. So let's start with India first, okay? We have Reuters, Russia supplying S-400 air defense systems to India on schedule. So Russia is the main arms supplier to India, I think about $6 billion or something like that. And India is arming itself with anything it can arm itself with. Russia will deliver an order of S-400 anti-aircraft systems to India within the agreed time frame. India is the world's biggest arms importer and still mostly uses Russian technology for traditional arms, but officials in New Delhi have expressed concern that Russia's war in Ukraine could delay planned deliveries of weapons and equipment. The production of S-400 Triumph anti-aircraft missile system is being carried out according to schedule. The delivery of the equipment of the S-400 Triumph system is expected to be completed within the agreed time frame. Okay, good for you guys. And it says that India purchased the S-400 Triumph air defense systems units in 2018 for $5.4 billion. 3 of the systems have been delivered and 2 more are still awaited. Alright, it's buying fighter jets, Israeli drones, and US jet engines as well, but Russia still accounted for $8.5 billion of the $18.3 billion India has spent on arms imports since 2017, according to the data from the Stockholm International Peace Research Institute. So, India is getting ready for Teddy. It's one. And the other one, I will show you how the Chinese, who participated in the talks in Jeddah in Saudi Arabia, they're sending their defense minister, guess where? To Russia. Russia and Belarus. So these guys militarily don't cooperate with anybody. I say, yeah, economically, you give us this, we give them the product, you give us the money, and you invest. But hey, how we plan our thing is our business. How we protect our thing is our business. You have nothing to say here. And the Americans are like, Jesus Christ. Anyway, let's go to see what this article has to say coming from Associated Press. Chinese defense minister to visit Russia and Belarus in show of support despite West objections. Who's the West? The monolithic West. So this guy shows up to Belarus and Russia, and I think he's sanctioned by the West, which is the United States of America, and the rest are just weasels. Chinese Defense Minister Li Shangfu is visiting Russia and Belarus in a show of support for those nations which the West has sought to isolate over Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Blah, 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 blah. Li departed Monday on the 6-day trip during which he will deliver an address at the Moscow Conference of International Security and meet with defense leaders from Russia and other nations. The defense ministry said on its social media account, citing spokesperson Colonel Wu Qiang. Okay, well, Sergei Lavrov has to say something to say, is due to speak at a conference on the topic of majority world countries. And it's true, search for ways to develop outside Western mechanisms, including strengthening multilateral associations of a new type. What did I tell you? What did I tell you? I told you on many occasions that these guys, the Russians and China and other countries, will form their own institutions. I told you that more than a year ago. And it was very clear. When this guy started I said it when the Russian banks were kicked out of SWIFT. For me, that was, and when they said, well, the insurance companies for your tankers will sanction you. I was like, the Russians will, I said, why do the Russians need to obey these things? If I were the Russians, I said, I will just create my own institutions. I will insure my own vessels. Ew. I will not participate in the conventions because the conventions are skewed and are created by you guys. And you kick whomever you don't like, you kick them out. You sanction them. Why would I want to obey? I'm strong enough to form my own institutions and organizations outside of these things. And exactly that's what they're doing. So, when they say here that Lavrov will talk about the majority world countries, which indeed, out of the 40 countries that are under the US's hegemony and spell and power and control, there's a big world over there, 153, if I just subtract the 40, that are outside of these guys' thing. And they search for ways to developing outside Western mechanisms, including strengthening multilateral associations of a new type. This guy, the Li Shangfu, comes to the defense minister of China, comes to Russia again. Remember when who met? Where they met? Where did they meet? Can't remember where they met. I think it was who the hell was that? Biden? About a month ago, they met with a Chinese delegation, and they say, well, we're gonna discuss about this and that, but we're not gonna discuss anything about the military. The military is not for you. We talk with the Russians about military. You give us the money, we give them product, and we get rich, and we buy your stuff. And not your stuff. We invest and we buy on your thing. So we own you at one point. We'll see. Anyway, concerning, and the Indians the same way. The Indians are in between. But they know exactly how things work. And India has a great history with Pakistan. And Pakistan was supported by the Western countries. And Pakistan was not a democracy. Remember that one? I heard the fantastic Indian Foreign Minister Dr. Jaishankar, talking about this in an interview with a weasel Austrian interviewer, obnoxious interviewer anyway. And he said, while we were doing this, what were you doing? You were arming Pakistan, and Soviet Union was helping us. They helped us. So now we should forget that? And the guy's like, exactly that. I covered that in a video a year ago or so. So here it is, my friends. These guys are closing ranks and they will form new institutions. It's just, I think, not a genius idea or, my God. I think it's a normal development. It's just that you have the balls to do it. And it seems like they have the balls. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.